But we're gonna get, oh, that's my background, anyway, don't pretend we're running on the beach. Okay, Zoom started, thanks for joining. Hi, everybody, thank you so much for coming, super excited to have you and our panelists, and one of the biggest questions that I get from newer agents mostly, but all agents all the time is, where do I get leads? How do I get leads? Do I get leads? You give me leads? What do I do? So we have these fine agents here that are gonna share with you how they get leads in their business and most importantly, follow up with those leads. So we'll start on this end and we're gonna, I would like to know your name, how long you've been in the business, what you did before real estate, and something personal about yourself. Do you have it? I did. They all got the
So my name is Crumbliss. I've been in real estate 2 years, 3 months, and 8 days today. You know, why not? Because I looked up my look. I looked up my licensing date, did a date calculator. I said I went way too far in the statistics. Okay. So I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, straight out of high school. I've done everything from technical sales and service, home renovations, construction, travel, all over the place, oil and gas. So I've been a bunch of different industries, a bunch of different things. Married 16 years, all 3 girls are my children, 5, 3, and 1 are my children. Why did I see that? 17 chickens, all hens. So it's me and my dog are the only males in the house. I said, I get to pick the dog, honey. You never get to pick. So that's what I get.
And his name is
Ben Crumbliss.
Otis, and I'm surprised. Otto.
Yeah.
I do that every time. He's usually here, but.
Yeah, it's okay. I like it.
I am, well,
Yes.
I am the lesser of the Bens up here, so I am Ben Jones.
Better dress.
Thank you. So I've been in the industry for 12 years total. I used to do new home sales back in 2012, and then I transitioned to working for a pretty large investor here in Columbus, and then after that, decided to go on my own. So I've been licensed for now almost 4 years, a little over 4 years. Before real estate, I was a kid, I guess. I've always, out of high school, out of college, real estate was always my thing. I was a leasing agent at an apartment complex prior to even getting into like real estate. I also have all daughters. I have 4 daughters, 11, 9, 7, and 1. We waited 6 years after that 3rd one and said, you know what, it's not working. We keep getting girls. So trying to do like a little simmer, but a simmer for simmer did not work with another girl. And so then I also chose a dog and got a boy dog. So that was the win for me. So Ben Jones.
And he's been down to where tutu once or twice.
The what?
Where
Girl dad.
tutu once or twice.
You got a girl
We're
there.
not talking about that.
Okay.
So my name is Rima Bazerbashi. My last name means can he go to market. I hope I can use it just to give myself that boost that I am. So I'm here because I'm still learning just like you guys. And I sat on those in those and I still sit in those news there all the time because I think that it's never too much to learn something if you don't listen from anyone. And I'm here to share some of what I did with lead generation. I'm originally from Syria. I'm Muslim. My favorite book is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the first time I read it, I thought I'm reading the Quran, which is the Muslim holy book, because I get on reading and then I say, no, this guy is Muslim, is writing the book. And I go back and forth, and I mean, it's really what makes sense, really in life is what makes sense. So those are the 2 books that I read. I go back often, and I play Pilates 3 to 5 times a month, a week. A week. I think it's really important, even 15 minutes, to have something for yourself in the morning, reading your scripture or doing some type of stretching or whatever. before you start your day, and then very important also to get your mind in the right place to listen to other stuff. So basically, this is what I do. I have 5 kids. I've been married for 43 years.
How long have you been with us? How long?
I've been with you 7 years.
And you started here, right?
Almost 7.
Did you start at Keller Williams?
I started in Keller Williams. I've never worked before Keller Williams. I was stay-home mom. I did rehabbing for properties we had for 2 years, and then I decided no more. I wanna get into real estate. I did finance and record administration before, so I went into real estate and here.
My name is Denny Gray. I've been licensed since last March. Did my first transaction July of last year, and have since done 17 transactions of this law for $8 million. So very lucky in the first 12 months to get rolling. Prior to that, I had spent the last 7 years with Lincoln Inspection Group, the largest home inspection firm in Ohio, doing home inspections. It was a general manager for them. Have done probably 4,000 inspections, both commercial and residential myself, supervised. We were doing 6,000 inspections a year as a group. So we had 13 inspectors of supervising them and reconciling those reports. Prior to that, I spent about 15 years with Lowe's companies, Fortune 50 company, as a store manager and market director. Got the entire pumps market at one point, all 15 stores. So decided to get out of that and resigned from that huge salary and that corporate world, and just tell my wife and come home one day without a job. And don't want to do that for those of you who are married. I also have 5 kids, 4 girls, adults, and a son. I've been married for 34 years, but to 4 different women. And that's true. You can laugh. It's okay. It's a true story. The last one's the last 16 years. All my children with my third one, my second wife, and I've been married for 16 years. This one's my current wife. She's my favorite one so far. I put together this flyer, this sheet in front of you, this document, just kind of give you an idea where I came from and how I address lead generation. And I'm still in infancy of doing it and still trying trial and error and all those things. And but it's been working so far. So I'm glad to be part of the panel. I'm certainly a newbie here. Don't know why I'm here, but we'll figure it out when you.
17 transactions.
I know Rima, I've done specials for Rima in the past. Okay. David, just sitting there, we've done many things too, and see what we're doing.
Awesome, thanks guys, thanks so much. Yeah, so you could just either, anyone can get into real estate. You can make this business as small or as big as you want it, as quickly or as small or as slow or as fast as you want it. And yeah, so let's just kind of jump into it. I prepared questions, but you guys can answer them however you see fit. So the first question is, what are your top 3? And if you have less, then that's fine. Up to 3 successful strategies you are currently using to capture leads in your business. So whoever wants to start, go for it. There you go, Ben Jones.
Works. Can I start at the first one? You can start mine. So yeah, my top 3 would be a sphere of influence for sure. That's number 1. Number 2 would be circle prospecting. So whenever I get a property maybe in contract or something that is a buyer's looking in that area, then I'm really just going to kind of hone in on that one particular area. So I'm probably going to get into this deeper later, but whenever I have a home in contract, I partner with one of my title companies. They help me with postcards, and we're able to get things that are just sold in contracts. Even if it's a buyer, if I got a buyer that purchased a home, we're going to get in that neighborhood and make sure I have credibility there saying, hey, I've sold a house that looks like yours. I've sold a house that's that price point. I can sell yours. My third one would be just regular postcards. So I have some farming for, again, my past was new builds. And so I went to my past neighborhoods I used to sell in, and I just bombard them with postcards on a regular basis. So I would say my most effective one though is Sphere, which we'll talk about later. And deeper.
Just to piggyback on that with Ben, starting off same thing, Sphere and all those things, and the farming is important. I had done a mailing before it came to this brokerage, the postcard mailing, doing some solicitation and demographic in Delaware, and Baylor had got the flyer. And she called me and said, hey, listen, I'm David Bishop, who's on with it. I say you're fine. I like what you're doing here. FYI, you're out of compliance, which I knew I was. It was my first postcard. I had a title company had done the thing, had put this thing together for me. As soon as I got one sent to myself. That's something I knew I was, but. And then we got to talking. She said, I see you live in Delaware. So I do. She goes, where do you live? I said, just north of the fairgrounds. And what street? I said, Taylor Avenue. She said, what house do you live? What's your address? I said, Fort Tulsa. She goes, oh my God, you brought my sister's house from her sister 8 years ago. So I had to meet her. So I came to the brokerage at that day. That was in April maybe.
Yeah.
And I just happened to meet her and seeing the brokerage here and with the support that was here. I came. But to Ben's point that farming works. I think what you have to do is you certainly, you know, the one-on-one stuff is important because you want to have FaceTime with individuals, but you have to figure out how you scale this thing, how you get leads generated to you at scale, meaning involved with it, right? So that's certainly one way.
When that connection too, it just goes to show you how simply like it can happen, you know, if you're not doing some of the things, you're not making those connections,
Correct.
you would be sitting here right now.
And I think to piggyback off what we both said, sometimes when you're first starting, you go, okay, well, great, if I have a house that I've sold in this neighborhood, then yeah, okay, there's two problems here. One is I haven't sold a house yet. And number two, if I haven't sold a house in the neighborhood, I don't have a ton of money to do these postcard situations. And so the first neighborhood you can start in is yours. And if you're a realtor and your neighbor puts his house up for sale, that is like a hit to the throat. Because you're just like, this is my direct neighbor that I probably have sat out in the driveway, maybe the beer, whatever you've done with your neighbors, and they're selling with Joe Schmo just because they call.
Don't be a secret agent.
Yeah.
That's great.
So my top three is fear of influence. I have past clients and referral. Those my top three. Also I do the same. I do farming, and it's not. I do farming based on a buyer I have. Most of the time, I'm looking for a home, and I have a particular farm that I do farm because I have clientele who really love that area and that. So I started farming it because I can find them homes.
And when you say farming, just to clarify for everyone, because I know there's some new people,
Yeah. Farming.
postcards.
Yeah, I sent out postcards. Then after the postcard, I follow it up with polls to see if they received the card, if there's anything they're looking to do in their home, if I can provide them with any value. It's always you have to have something that you can really bring to the table if you are calling them. Otherwise, nobody wants. I mean, who would want they to be interrupted by a phone call without having something that you can bring them. The postcard usually this has been always. I mean, which makes it easy for me. I create the market update in command. It's a red square. I just exchange the numbers and put it on a postcard and have the title company send it to the title company. So it has been good, and I've connected many deals even before they hit the market. So I connected buyers and sellers before they hit market because I knew who is selling, who is ready to sell, and I had some connections with buyers, and so. Many deals I have were successful that way.
And then my top three are personal relationships, sphere of influence, referrals, and open houses. So I haven't started farming yet. I was just talking to my title partner about starting farming around some of the houses that I've sold recently. And then I'm a veteran, so I've bought VA. I've worked with a lot of veterans, and so I've actually worked with the same title company. They pulled all of the VA loans in Fairfield County, and I'm able to go through all of those addresses and start farming those. So it's a credibility, to these guys' point, you come in and you say, hey, you know, personal relationships, easy. They know who you are, they know what you do, hopefully. Again, don't be the secret agent. Mention, you know, don't make it this weird, awkward, hi, I'm Ben, I sell real estate. You know, you have a conversation with somebody, you go, hey, what do you do? Have that conversation, okay, toss it back your brain. Well, yeah, so I do this, so this is what I'm running into work. And that can turn into that conversation where they find out what you do, again, not in this weird, like, shove it in your face way. Because I think, I know when I started, I didn't wanna be constantly like, oh, I'm real estate, I'm real estate, I'm real estate. Because I feel like people get annoyed by that. So I've just been, like, I sponsored, part of the personal relationships. I did a $300 sponsorship, put my, poster up on the wall at the gym. People are going in there with gym. No, so like at our, like, so at my CrossFit gym, we've got a wall that we do sponsors. You know, to me, $300, and I think to most of us, $300 is a pretty easy year sponsorship. It's something that those people already know what I do, but then seeing it on the wall, I've had 2 deals come directly from that poster. Which $300, that's paid for itself 10 times over. So being present at those places and building those relationships is huge.
And that's anywhere you can do that, right?
Yeah.
So he uses the gym, but there's schools, there's any kind of
Coffee
net,
shops.
coffee shops.
Yeah, anything like that. So,
One thing I may add, for, farming or anything consistency, and taking notes. Because, you're gonna use your notes, to call them again, because if you are consistently sending cards, you're gonna call them several times, during the year. Make sure you have good notes to say, oh, last time we talked about that. Make sure if you are able to get more, every time more information about the family, the number of kids, where they are in their, what stage they are, and it's very important to know what year they bought the home, because that way it tells you that those are, soon they're gonna be downsizing. And, by calling and just introducing yourself, you can capture those leads. One type of lead that I'm seeing that today that are, most, I mean, those are the most sellers, I think, are the senior citizens. Because, those, they have, their home page and they're ready to move to something that is less of maintenance. And so when I look at the year they bought their home, I know this home, I can, what type of information I will be communicating to them because of the situation that I understand now.
Awesome. Anything else on? No? Okay, so with that, how do you leverage technology to generate leads? So, and what tactics have been proven most successful to you? Such as like, so talking about the follow-up, like the notes, keeping the notes, like right, Rima said you want to make the best notes on these people. What systems are you using to take those notes? As far as command, blah, blah, things like that.
So for me.
No, I don't, it's okay. Keller Williams provides command, you don't have to use command.
I don't use
It's provided
command.
for you, so.
Okay, sorry, not that guy.
Here's the thing,
You'll get all perspective.
Correct.
I think it's per person, right? Like what can you use that's gonna keep you effective? Because at the end of the day, someone may say command works really well and you get on it and it's like, this doesn't. I've seen people, there's really big teams in this office that use command really, really well. That's what they do. So for me personally, I got into it and I tried for like a year or two and it just didn't feel natural to how I was, because again, I was in business before. So it's a little different than maybe someone starting from scratch. For me, it just wasn't matching my rhythms. And so I use a custom CRM a buddy of mine built called Horizon AI or something like that. And the biggest thing that I'm using for it is pipelines, right? And so for me, we're probably gonna talk about what's a hot lead, a cold lead, a warm lead, right? And what do you do with each of those different segments, right? So if someone comes to you today and says, we're looking to buy now, what do you do with those people? And then the second part is, okay, if someone's like, I'm looking to buy, I'm working on credit, or our lease is up in 6 months. What is your communication with them? And then obviously I have someone that was a cold lead for me, literally just happened on Friday, excuse me. On Friday, they were in my section of my pipeline, they were a cold lead. And they called me and said, hey, our lease is up in December, but if we find someone we're looking to buy today, I have a friend that sent me this apartment, this condo. We look at it, we're in contract with them in a few hours. They were cold lead, so I'm moving them all the way up to now they're in contract. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I was like poking at them every single month. So.
So what is it? So specifically like for Horizon, or what are they, what is it providing for you as far as like that?
The pipeline.
Okay,
Excuse me.
so it's like a timeline for you to reference, so you can see where your people are and you're calling them, or are they calling you, or is it pushing anything out for you?
Yeah, so this CRM allows me, it does have automations, right? So within my pipeline, I probably have, let's call it 25 different stages in the process. And what this system allows me to do is goes, okay, you're a cold lead, I moved to a warm lead, to a hot lead. And now it's like, all right, I sent you to the lender, that's a stage. Then they got pre-approved, that's a stage. If they get to the lender and they can't get approved, I'm moving them back to credit repair. So that's why I have so many different stages, because there's a different contact with every single stage of the process. When I move them to each of those stages, there's an automation that goes out, whether it be a text or an email or a task that comes up that says, make sure you call so-and-so on this date. So it just helps me, and I don't have to recreate the wheel every time I move to another stage.
That's the
You
biggest
move them
thing.
yourself, like, you go in and you move them yourself.
I go in because, yeah, I have, so the way I kind of try to do my business is I have certain days, time blockings where I'm doing things. So Tuesdays for me is all of my client follow-up. And I do something unique, which is there's a video messaging app called Dub. You want to hear of Dub?
How do you spell it?
D-U-B.
DUBB.
So Dub. And so this, my lender actually does this. I stole it from him about a month ago. And I do this on Tuesdays, and you'll see me probably in that green room, the marketing room, every Tuesday. And what I'm doing is I'm recording, and the average person is going to go to the client and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thank you for returning your earnest money deposit. Cool. It's a text message, that's a video, right? For me, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna record a full video for each of my clients. Literally takes me 30 to 45 seconds. And I go, hey, welcome, to Tuesday, July 23rd. It's Tuesday, this is your Tuesday update. This week we got the deposit in. Thank you so much for getting that. Upcoming this week, we have all these things. And this sends it out to them in a kind of an organized manner. And so when they get it, they feel like, oh my gosh, you took all this time out to create this and do all this. It took 30 seconds. So it just allows you.
Those are candid, are they like, what is the word I'm looking for? So does it say like, hi, Ben, hi, Rima, are they just like?
It's personal.
It is personal.
So there's no, it's not like a
Standard video.
Yeah.
But
it's not-
that's what you do, that is what you time block to do every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, and at any time you have a few, so I mean, let's just say it's an hour of my time that I'm doing that, every week, updating everyone. And what it does, and I'm just now realizing this, is it frees up the rest of my week to do what we're supposed to be doing, which is regenerating, trying to find the next deal. And I don't have to think all week about, I gotta tell someone, so they already know. And I make sure at the end of the video, I say, this does not negate you calling, texting, emailing me. This is just to give you a full overview. And 9 times out of 10, they don't need anything else the rest of the week. So it's a good manager of my clients.
Just want to clarify this. So you're recording a video of yourself and are you sending it to them via text?
So I wish I could show you what
Text or email, I think it's a great.
so it goes straight to, it goes to email.
Email.
So and it creates a GIF or a GIF. How do you say that?
Yeah, whatever.
Either or,
Yeah.
tomato, tomato.
Just say that, you say GIF.
So yeah, it goes, you can send it to the text, but I think it looks prettier and more professional when it goes that way versus you just doing like because anyone can do this for free and then send it. But I think I put a backdrop on there. I do a little bit of background music. Let's start.
Well, I was gonna pick back on something you said, there are a couple things to take away from that is that regardless of what, we don't use command either. I'm a Captain Congress and use, that's something called brevity, but
Brevity is another one.
yeah, that you have to, be committed and consistent. It has to be disciplined. You got into Ben's point, you got to set aside time, whatever that task is or that execution you're trying to do, you do it consistently and and you block those times to do that. And you have to define with what differentiates you from everybody else. What makes you different? There's 10,000 realtors in something like I'm Denny realtor. What are you doing that's different? What separates you and what value proposition you're bringing? That's a huge value proposition. That makes a lasting impression, right? And that type of thing. I love that. One of the things that I got in an email before I came to this business was it related to something completely different, but I got a follow-up in an email from a salesperson that I was impressed with. Because it was directed to me, it was personalized, all those things, and we're certainly undergoing the same type of thing as that personalization, so. I think back to that lead generation, back to the beginning of this thing with these leads. I think you have to, in order to create a differentiating experience for your clients, you have to determine what your ideal client look like. Define it. I kind of wrote out what my ideal client is and explained that to you, just to kind of give you an idea of what I came up with. And then how are you servicing that client? And what does a great experience look like to that client for the entire transaction process, start to finish? And then have a system that goes after them, that identify, and you have to be consistent with it, right?
Unless you're killing it, you got 25 clients every single month. Okay, that's a different conversation, but
Yeah.
you got 1, 2, 3, maybe going at the same time. Like if this is, you treat them like you're a family, and that's really the reality of this business is people, right? So if you're treating them like family, you're gonna take the time, and for us, it takes 30 seconds, but for them, it feels like you spent all day thinking about them, making sure everything was in order.
Well, in videos, it's an intimidating, like I can say this even for me, it's an intimidating thing to get started with. But I mean, to your point, take 3 minutes, make a 30-second video. But now you've gotten it to the point where you've got the different steps. I know you need this information going in, you've got it in your head what that script looks like. You can rip it off super quick. Understand that when you get started doing these videos, it's gonna feel awkward, it's gonna feel weird, you're gonna be super self-conscious, you're gonna stumble over your words, you're gonna make mistakes. Get over it. At the end of the
That's
day.
what you look like and that's what you sound
Right,
like.
and
Someone
at the
told
end
me
of
that
the
once
day,
and I was just like,
and I'll come
oh,
back to you.
okay.
At the end of the day, the first listing video I did, I'm on a team. And my team lead does these listing videos and they look amazing, He can do them, he walks in, he does them, he walks out. He's done how many of those videos already? So he has it in his head, this is what I need to say, this is the order in which I need to say it, they'll do the rest. Whereas I come in and I try to do the same thing and I'm there stumbling over myself, I don't know what I'm saying, I forgot what I said 2 minutes ago, I can't, and so I had to stop and go, okay, stop. When he started, what did he do? He wrote down a script. He typed it up on his phone. Because then you can go, okay, I'm gonna say these 2 lines, hey, welcome, my name's Ben Crumbliss with Keller Williams Greater Columbus. Oh, I tripped over that. I can back up and say that again and use that snippet and cut it in. So that's like, video is so powerful because
Right.
it's a personal touch on social media where a lot of people feel segregated and cut off. So at the end of the day, I know it stinks, it's stressful, it's weird feeling, get over it, do the video. Did you have a question? Yeah. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so when you did your videos, did you get any pushback from your clients that this could be a phishing email, they were concerned, or did you do something to set it up so they knew it was really you but not a phishing email?
Well, it's my face, so they know it's me, but number 2 is so when I send it, I just say, hey, and this is the first time, right? The first time they probably have questions like, oh, what's that mean? But second time, third time, the contract process is what, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks? And so they're just expecting it, and they know it's for me. I'm already communicating every other stage of the process. This is just another layer to set myself.
If he's sending these out to clients, he is already in contract. So they're in the entity.
But I come from a banking kind of background,
Right.
so we're always like fraud conscious and some of our clients will get some things and stuff, so that's why.
I see, and that's actually a really good point. So it's not like, and so that GIF where Jimmy talks about, it's
Embedded.
embedded in the email. You literally copy it from the website and it's copy and paste. And now you got a 12-second video of me doing this that looks like I'm talking. They click it and then it actually is me talking and it's kind of a prettier setup.
When you're talking about like the snippets and, doing one portion at a time and then putting it all together, is there somebody else that's doing that for you? Do you have to figure out how to edit it all, and do that yourself, do editorial stuff, the title company or something like that?
Yeah, we've been talking about.
So I use CapCut. It's literally, I record it on my phone and it's a really easy platform. The great thing about it is there's a ton of YouTube videos that can teach you how to do it. And I mean, they can be 30-second videos. If you want the really super in-depth stuff, you can go the full opposite direction and do a 30-minute video on, okay, how do I do this one thing in CapCut? Look through, Ben Jones does a ton of videos. Look at his social media and go,
Yeah.
how is he doing it?
Here's that Ben Jones.
Yeah, Ben Jones, Justin Bruce, those kind of people that are doing those types of videos. Go look at them, steal their ideas. Like I straight up tell Justin, I'm stealing this idea. And he's like, cool, do it. Because at the end of the day, him and I live in Lancaster, so it's 110,000 people. We know entirely different segments of that population. He's a golfer, I can't stand it. It's like, it's just little things like that. Your own individual stuff
It's gonna.
is going to attract a completely different person. So straight up.
As long as you do it consistently, right? As long as you do it consistently, I mean, if you do a one video, it's not, it's not gonna affect it. I do my videos. I take videos of neighborhoods. I take videos of, if we're building a home for a client, I go to the home, I show the floor plan, I show the progress, that type of videos, if I'm listing a property, we're working on it, I take a video, post it, I think people love that, and I put it in on Facebook and story. It's more reactions on stories and interactions than Facebook. And people want to see what's going on, what's new. So that's the way I use videos. I'm not as smart as those two guys, but I do use videos and post on Facebook and my story. The thing is the CRM that I use, the technology that I use is Command. I use it for everything. I put my notes in it. After I talk to somebody, I put the notes and then I put the task. What is coming next, and if you see every morning you could look at your tasks in Command, it will come up that today you need to do this. And as long as you are consistently feeding it and scheduling it, you will see it. I also use it for design. I think it's amazing. I think it's very easy to use. And if I have, I don't wait for the title company to design my cards. I design them and send them to them, and they put them together on a card.
And Rima, one thing you do also for lead generation to keep in contact with your sphere of influence of past clients is the newsletter, right? Every month you do a newsletter.
Yeah. I stopped it because now I'm sending my sphere of influence, I'm sending them a magazine. And that magazine is really, they are loving it. And it's when I call them, when we talk about it, it's just that. And that magazine has their card. So at the end of the conversation, okay, did you see that they're out card? You know, can I count on you to give me one lead in the next 12 months? Anything. So it's really, and it goes 4 times a year. So it's much easier for me than doing the newsletter, and they have physical things in the hat. Now it's not cheap, but at the same time, if you are buying a lead, how much would you pay for it? It pays for itself when you get it only one lead. Yeah.
So we've all talked about social media. I think we all know that that's a technology leverage. Outside of social media, I personally use digital business cards. That's something that I've like stumbled upon and I've fallen in love with, because if I show somebody the QR code, it's a touch point because I go, hey, here, you want my contact information? I let them want mine. That's the biggest thing. I say, hey, okay, here, I'll give you my contact information. I show them the QR code. I walk them through the process to make sure that it saves. And then I kind of talk up the feature of, hey, when you get to the end of this, it's going to ask you to send your information to me. So the great thing is the hardest part of handing a business card out. Okay, you have my number. I'm waiting on you to call me. Whereas if I walk them through the process and get them to the point where it's on the phone right there, name, phone number, email, and just say, hey, send that to me. It's gonna go in my phone. So when you call me, I see your name. I know who you are. Well, as soon as they hit send on that, it dings my phone. I go, oh, say, here, cool, there you are. To them, it's like a little reward, essentially. That goes straight into my Google account, that dumps straight into Brivity, my CRM, and they're in there. And the nice thing is, as soon as I get done with a networking event, anything like that, I pull the CRM up and I look at who just got added. I go put notes, met them here, talked about this, met them here, talked about this. And it's just completing that circle, so you're not getting a phone call from somebody, the number you don't recognize. They go, oh yeah, I'm so and so, we met at this thing, and you're sitting there scrambling going, oh, yeah, okay. It's that habit of writing it down and accounting for, hey, I talked to this person about this, I'm gonna write it down. So that closing that circle, that's been huge for me.
So you guys gave a lot of awesome answers. I'm gonna kind of go back to the question of like technology for leads, like, so to generate leads through technology, I know social media video, that's really big. Is there anything else that you guys are using technology to have people that you don't know come into your, technology wise, come into
I
your
put ads,
platform?
and I use command to put ads. For my, if I have an open house coming soon, whatever, at any occasion that I have, I do put ads.
Like a social media sponsored ad?
Yeah, on, through command, yeah, paid ads, and, I usually don't wait for, yeah, I'm gonna capture so many people, and, no, it's really the consistency and to be out there all the time. Some people are
Brand
saying,
awareness.
you're out, you're out. I mean, some of the leads that, I mean, some of these not necessarily are gonna work out, but people are seeing you, and that on the long run, that works. So I do use that.
I would. So I started using RedX, yes, RedX.
Redx, RED.
Thanks.
REDX, if you're gonna write it down, Redx.
And so they provide a list of foreclosures, they provide a list of, there's lists that you can pull and get it automatically sent, there's expired listings. I think a lot of times when we first started, those are the ones that people want you to call, it expires. They want you to call for somebody else, so that creates and gets those lists for you. I know we're kind of pivoting from social media, but there's a point of connecting the two.
Well, no, you're good, because it was technology, it was like what, yeah. Yep.
So I started using those, and I always try to look for return, because I got 500 kids. I feel like I need a return on my time, right? So I'm gonna use time for something. I mean, you have to look at the data, and that's one of the big points that we're probably talking about is look at what you're doing, right? So if you're gonna say, man, I gotta call 1,000 for somebody else to get 1 or 2 deals, or I could do this and I'm getting consistent deals, like where are you gonna put your time normally? But if someone's just telling you, go call for somebody else, you're just dialing and dialing down, and that's fine, and if you're really good at it, and I think that's part of this conversation, is when you walk into here, you're probably looking for like a secret sauce, like what can I do, what can I go and do today, and just do it, and it'll give me time. There isn't one, and I think there's some people in here that are really good, I know. Jeff, he just calls every morning, he's in here at 7 a.m., he's calling, he kills it, and it's like, that's not me. I don't like to cold call. I'm a big guy. You can't get this big guy on the phone. You can't, it doesn't correlate. So for me, social media was my thing. And I want to speak on social media for a second.
Yeah, it's the next one for sure, so you can go ahead, yeah. How do you leverage social media for lead generation?
I get
and
excited-
what
I get excited
tactics
about
have, you know, but I've seen it, it's been for you, so,
Well, I have,
yeah.
and I wasn't before, and I think I changed because I wanted to like, oh, I'm not getting deals and I hate being in front of the camera. I think the reality is you gotta document what you're doing in your life.
I was gonna say that, someone recently just told me that even for our own market center and like the position that I'm in, when you're working with agents, document what you're doing, share it with other agents. I mean, it's the same kind of concept of what you're saying too.
How many shows have you watched? How many YouTube series? Anyone know Ryan Sarhan? He's a big agent in New York City that has $1 million listing. Like, you feel like if you walk with me, you're like, I know him because he's posting and he's showing and he's choosing opportunities. When I walked through today, I put my phone back there on a little tripod just to start a little bit. It's not for you guys, it's not even for me. The reality is I'm gonna post a little snippet of me sitting in this chair later, and I feel like I'm not doing any better than any of these guys in business. But the reality is from social media, I'm not faking it, so I'm making it. I'm just saying, I'm doing this.
You're showing.
I'm showing them
That's the biggest difference. You look at an agent they could be, $50 million producer. But if nobody knows about it, except that little small sphere, okay.
Right.
But if you're putting it out on social media where, let's be honest, I think I've got 600 people that follow me on Instagram. Who cares? But that's 550 people more than the 50 people I would talk to in my small hometown. And it's free and it's international. I mean, it's worldwide. I've got people, referrals, people like, holy cow, my first deal was a referral. 20-some% of my business is referrals. Get to know other agents. Social media, you can communicate with people that are across the country. Call somebody, it's a simple, pick up the phone, go, hey, my name's Ben, I'm a real estate agent in Columbus. I've got somebody looking in Seattle. Can you tell me a little bit about your business? Well, that agent might go, screw you, hang up. Well, we know not to send to that person. Call the next one. Hey, my name's Ben, I'm in Columbus, you're in Seattle. Can you tell me a little bit about your business? Hey, cool, let me take 5 minutes and tell you about my business. That just told you something about that agent. They're willing to pause their day and answer the call and figure out, okay, how can I help? That person just jumped to the top of my list. And I can do a little bit of work on behalf of my person in Seattle and say, hey, I'm gonna pre-qualify this person. I'm in the business, I understand what they're saying, I can see through the fluff. Whereas you're kind of, somebody that's not in real estate every single day could get snowed by that and end up with a horrible deal. I've had people not call me for a referral in Seattle, funny enough, and call me back 30 days later and go, dude, I screwed up so bad, can you please help me get out of this? And I'm like, okay, talk me through what happened. He tells me, I'm like, okay, you're actually good where you're at, but they're just not communicating with you in a way that clicks to your head.
And is this you, or is this coming from social media connections, is that, or?
Social media connections is what brings you top of mind to people you don't see every day. So
There is another way.
Mhm.
As Keller Williams, we have, since COVID started, James Shaw, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this
I
guy.
his name down though.
Yeah, he has started, every morning, he would go, live and, for 20 minutes every morning at 8 AM.
Do what? I'm sorry.
He
Goes live.
Yeah, and he starts at 7:30, but I don't start with them because they start music and stuff and I have other stuff. So, but he takes a page from MREA and he really dedicated his work just to assure the agents that you can succeed even in the worst environment. And he is consistently doing it every morning at 8 AM. So you can follow him on Facebook. You can attend his session in the morning at 8 AM on Facebook, or you can email him and take the link and put it on your calendar and click on it when you want to see it.
I think, sorry, what was his name again?
James Shaw.
Shaw, S-H-A-W?
Yeah.
And if you go on Facebook, it's Pivot. It's called Pivot.
Pivot first.
Pivot. The page, his page is
I'll find it for you.
I'll remember it now. But his the thing
Oh, pivot shift ahead.
but yeah, Pivot Shift, yes. Pivot Shift, and the nice thing in the community that he started, they keep track of each other. So by being there, your name will be put on a list on a what is it?
Like a referral list.
Yeah, referral list, yes, exactly, and you can enter your name, your city, your anything, and you can actually communicate with this referral list. So part of your lead generation is to communicate with your clients, and part of it is to communicate with those agents. These are all over the world in Canada and the United States. So last year I referred actually to Spain and to twice I referred to Florida. So you can make those connections to get that referral.
I think social media is the next level stuff, and, it's gonna take you to where you wanna go. I'm still working on, I think we're first concrete content every day. Northwest Title, Taylor Harbor, and this building will do content for free for you, spend a couple hours, and it'll be great content you can do. To at least get you started.
What's the name again?
Taylor Harbor with Northwest Title. But I think it's a differentiator, and if you're talking about scaling lead generation on scaling volume, that's the source. Facebook, Instagram, ads, all those things. So, but you got to get away from. If you look at what you're doing on now, whether it's a fixed ad or a video ad, I'm talking about, hey, my client, my client just paid this and close on this house. That's every agent, some will hire the same. So I will tell you the point, right? You have to, first of all, if someone's going to engage with content you're putting on their sites, what's going to make them engage? It has to be what value bringing, and are you asking them to do something, a call to action, do a next move to capture that? And there's a reason to do the next move, right? That's something you got to figure out.
What are they getting out of it?
Yeah, what's in it for that? And what's your value proposition? What are you offering? And who are you? I think it goes back to identifying what you're bringing to the table. Who's your ideal client? What's that ideal situation look like for them? And that's how you target your content is based around those things.
And who do you like working with? It's usually people that are just like, that sounds really in this world, that sounds like, ugh, it's true, right? Someone that looks like you, that talks like you, that is around you, you're naturally gonna be able to sell them better. Back to what you said earlier, you don't want to be a car salesman, right? You don't want to be always like, I'm a realtor. So someone told me a while ago, this is where the video stuff came from, is choose 3 things other than real estate that you're gonna stand by. And you go, well, my life's so boring. Well, then have a life that's not boring. And I know that sounds really messed up, but the reality is you are, and real estate is boring. Because you're looking at houses, the same houses, you're talking about the contracts. Do something fun, make it fun. And for me, social media became fun, made it more fun. So find 3 things that you can say. If someone saw Ben Jones, they immediately go, oh my gosh, he's got 4 daughters, so great. He's really involved in his church, and he's on this new fitness journey. I created a fitness journey that you're gonna laugh. I said, I'm gonna do 250 days in the gym in 1 year. That was last August. I'm only at a day 140.
Great.
See, look at it.
Yeah, I fell in the gym. I was like, it's you win again.
But I'm so behind, yes, but I'm so behind, and what's happening is now this is an opportunity to say consistency, right? So every morning that I do go, I take
Which
a
isn't
video.
every morning, but.
Whoops. I should be like, ripped right now, I'm like, anyway. So I go to the gym, and as I'm walking in, I literally take a pan of me walking to the gym, and at the bottom of it, I say, day 125 out of 250, and I tag the gym, and I tag, if I see someone, which happens almost every time, I see someone I know, so I tag him and say, hey, saw Mike at the gym, and I tag him in there, he shares it, because he's.
Now, all those people.
And that's just one angle of me now sharing something that I try to identify with. And then with the kids, same thing. So I'm tagging my wife, she's sharing it, and then whoever was at the event we're doing. It's not the same for everybody, but when I say create a life that's worth posting about, it's not, don't fake it till you make it. Don't try to like, I'm over here doing it. No, it's just you're documenting what you're already doing. And I guarantee the people you're already around, like you're creating fans. That's what someone's like. Don't create followers, create fans, but they're looking forward to you posting. And then when you tag in the little contracts, that just gives you credibility.
Well, and I'll go a step beyond that. Don't create followers, create fans. Don't just create fans, create advocates. People that see you that go, oh man, he's so good at going to the gym. Oh, he sells real estate. Dang, he's killing real estate. Hey, my sister just said she wanted to buy a house. Like that's another thing, like with the consistency, both on social media and showing up somewhere. Pick a place. For me, it's coffee. I love coffee. I go hang out at my coffee shop at least once a week, if not more times than I should. So I walk in and every employee knows me by name. The owner knows me by name. Other regulars know me by name. Become a regular somewhere. If it's the library, if it's the coffee shop, if it's the gym, pick whatever fits your life. Whatever you do naturally like to. Yeah, and do that. And then again, you're creating advocates because you're talking to that person goes, oh, Ben's a real person. I see what he's doing. You know what? He shares the struggles because let's be honest, real estate has its ups and downs. He said he comes in, he's having a bad day. Hey, here's a coffee, here's a pick me up. Okay, cool, he's a real person. When somebody in that coffee shop or gym or wherever says, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house. Hey, you know, my buddy Ben sells real estate, you should talk to him, he's a real person. Create advocates that are gonna, without you even knowing about it, mention your name in rooms you're not even in.
Don't forget your real estate agent, because
Correct.
it
Yes.
really depends on your culture, that the culture that you are working with, and posting too much personal stuff will dilute who you are. So make sure that you are really communicating consistently things about real estate, anything that video or information or market update or just so that people can really
She's right. And I
connect you to real estate all the time.
So you do balance the personal stuff, but I will tell you that what you have, when you identify who your ideal client is, then you're gonna identify what are their pain points through this process. And you're gonna post video content, online content that speaks to solving those pain points and how you're their person to make that happen. Right? And I think people pick up very quickly on your sincerity in video, and I think that's why I like being in front of the camera like that. I'm never been nobody's comfortable with it, you know, but I talk too fast and stutter sometimes, all those things.
Well, I think education too, it's why education is so key. If you don't get educated in your business that you're trying to create a career in, you're not gonna have content to be able to post out there, you know? And be active in your
It's very
business too.
important to know your market, because an agent today called me, he said, do you have a client for this property that I'm listing? I know the area well, I know the street that he's talking about. Okay, I told him, okay, which one of these have listed? On this street, there was a garage sale a few months back, and those three were in a garage sale, and I thought they're gonna be the listing soon. And it turned out it's not one of them, but know your market really well.
Yeah, if you're not holding an open
Yeah.
house, you should be going to open houses on Saturday, you should be going to open houses on Sunday. You should be out there knowing the product that you are trying to sell and help people find, so. If you're not holding an open house, which I think everyone should be doing every weekend, if not twice weekend,
I've got 2 coming up I need help with.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
You should be going to open houses.
Bobby, I think you've been doing some open house and following on social media. Have you had some success with that? Because you've been consistent with it. But, oh, yeah.
You're all good. I've been really consistent with it. I've had it. It's been a little hard like, coming back and following up with them, but I have been.
That's what we're gonna get into next is client follow-up. That is probably the most important thing in the real estate business, because you guys are gonna come across so many people every day that you meet, and if you're not putting them somewhere in a system that is going to remind you and remind them, that person's gonna disappear.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna talk about client follow-up. They might not be looking now, but in 6 months, 12 months, and this is the business, you guys, sometimes you're gonna be talking to someone for 5 years before they're like, okay, and you want that person calling you,
18 months.
so.
Is
18
from
months,
the
there
time
you
that I
go.
started with the buyer to the time I put them in contract was 18 months. But they asked me to set them up on a search. I set them up on a search. Hey, do you want it every single day? Do you want it as soon as it comes out? Do you want it once a week? Tailor it to them, because then they go, oh, this is personal. It's super easy in the MLS and Command and Brivity, whatever system you're using. I personally use Flex MLS for mailing out those searches because I feel like it's the cleanest. They can send it right back to
And you
me.
can tell it's open.
Right, exactly. And you're not getting a Zillow lead that say, actually, it went contingent 3 weeks ago, sorry. That stinks for everybody.
So I wanna go, the step before,
Mhm.
how do you convert a lead? Which is, I struggled with a lot when I started, and I always ask, okay, how do you do that? And they say, we have no solution, you have to just find a way,
Yeah.
just do it. Whenever you find somebody, just take his information, make sure you have his email, and it was so awkward, okay, I need to do that. So, lead conversion is an art and can be learned. In Keller Williams, we have a class that is beyond amazing. It's called Mega Lead Conversion. It's
Mega lead conversion.
yeah, Mega Lead Conversion, and I mean, I think it's a must for new agents. It saves their lives, and because it means at this moment, I learned a lot from it. I took it last year, and I thought why it was not there. It was not why I was not told about it before.
I don't even know.
Huh?
Rachel.
What is that?
Mega lead conversion.
Okay.
Yeah, mega lead conversion.
She's got a pen.
Yeah, so it's
Is it through
Keller Williams,
Connect, through,
KW.
where do you take the class?
Online.
Is it, is there a fee?
There is a fee with that, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I can give you the information.
okay.
So for example, with new leads, this is something that really helps put you at ease. At the same time, it gives you tool. Okay, what do I do now? So I got somebody from the open house, or somebody called was on my website checking homes or anything like that. It means that they're interested in something. They didn't come to the open house not interested in something. So the way we learn to follow up on that is that it's called 6 days follow up. It has to be consistent, 6 days. What do you do with these 6 days? You call the first time, they might not pick up, you don't leave a message. You go the next 5 days, if it's a buyer, you have to write a small message for every time you're gonna call, what the value you're gonna provide for them as buyers. So you have to have 5 things every time when you call to tell them, okay, did you know that we do this? Did you know that we got this? Did you, what does that mean to you? Call me at this, and actually put a time when they can call you before the end of the day or at this time. So make it consistent. After 6 days, the last day, you will say something like, I've been calling you so many times. I don't want to be annoying you or anything like that. If you're still interested, let me hear from you or anything like that. After that, you start them on a drip campaign. You don't
Yeah, so
leave.
that's an 8x8 to
Yeah.
a 36 touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that and you
8
put them-
touches in 8 days, basically is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to call them, you put them on DTD2, which is I don't know. what-
That's gonna be a lot.
That-
Yeah.
a lot.
That's next level.
That's another-
It is a great program, but.
You have
I actually know the video she's talking about. It's done by somebody named Anna Kruger.
Anna
It's a
Kruger.
YouTube video that
Yeah,
goes
yes.
over the whole thing, kind of like an overview of it it's like a free video you can watch when you get it on
put it on YouTube actually.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see what
so
is
like
her name.
Anna
Anna
Kruger.
Anna,
Kruger.
how would you spell that?
KRUEGER.
Yeah,
Yeah.
KR, just for, so everyone, when they want to
Yeah,
write it down.
Anna and then KR. You can UEGER.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I could like email you the video.
That'd be
yeah,
great.
share it, everything.
And if you guys signed in, anything that, we talk about, we'll give you a summary, but so I didn't know about this specific training, but we do, that is part of, definitely your contact management, our, what we call smart plans. So you could set, we have open house smart plans, which you would set that lead up on what's called an 8x8, exactly like Rima is saying, 8 touches in 8 days, because someone with a buyer who's coming into an open house may have talked to 5 other agents that day, but you want to be aggressive in that lead follow-up with that particular person. And then it automatically goes into a 36 touch, which is a year-long communication to stay.
I mentioned the DTD2 because after you have not been able to contact them, you put them on calling them 4 times a year, and that's we need to. It's
So it's I would get,
DTD2.
do the database.
So that data twice.
Okay,
So actually, you went 4 times.
Right.
Yes, sorry.
So you guys, that's why, I meant to say, okay, that lead is being tagged as specific letter of the month, of the week, I'm gonna call these letters. So that system helps a lot.
We have a lot of newer, not all, but a lot of newer agents and some that are just really brand new too. So that's why I was like, oh, me too. That's
These are
probably a
color
lot.
orders.
They are, but you can't Google any of these things.
Any question?
I'm good.
You have to, regardless what CRM you use, you're using it to organize and track leads, automate follow-up,
Automate.
and automate follow-up and tasks, and then manage relationships, right? And then you have to use it, you have to be consistent with it. How you do those things in that process, in that path of that lead is gonna vary from person to person, what's your company.
Right, but those first touches, automate,
Huge.
can I say it enough?
Yeah.
Automate,
Yes, you gotta.
because you can use Command, Brivity, whatever CRM you use. Take it out of your hands, take it off your brain. When you do an open house. Brivity, I know has it, I think Command might have an open house sign in.
Yeah.
Where you can pop your computer up. What I do is I put the data sheet for the property I'm in on one half. I put the sign-in sheet on the other half of my screen. I let them know, hey, my name's Ben, I'm doing the open house. Come on, take a look. I don't hover over you. If you don't mind, there's some information here on my computer. There's a sign-in sheet next to it. I like to keep a track of everybody that comes through, just in case, the owner wants to reach out. Come up with some sort of shtick, spiel, whatever. Somebody walks through the door, this is what I say, put it on autopilot. Again, it's that practice thing. Have that. So again, for me, it's Brivity. They sign in, they've got their name, phone number, email address. And then I put a comment box on there and I ask them, if you have an agent, please put their name. Don't just say, do you have an agent? Because everybody's gonna say yes, because they don't want to hear from you. If they have to put a name, they're gonna go, oh, wait a second. No, don't have an agent. And that's a good indicator. For me, as soon as I click end on that open house, it dumps them into a smart plan. Right off the bat, I'm getting tasks, they're getting texts. And it goes from there right into like an 8x8, 6-day program, 10 days of pain, whatever that is. That pushes them from coldly, that's Ben Kenny's thing. Yeah.
As Jocko would say, do the work.
Exactly.
Yeah. You gotta set it up first. You gotta do the work initially.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing as a brand new agent, coming in, understand that the first 6 weeks at least. Is you're gonna have, and if you're doing it part-time, that's fine. Extend that, double that, 12 weeks is gonna be, okay, I've got to get into Command, whatever your CRM is. Build those processes.
I've been lucky. I'm a year into this thing and made some money my first year doing this, and it's because of my background, I'm fortunate. Without putting these things in motion, like I should have.
Yeah. And it's harder. Yeah, it's harder now that we're in the business, now that, I personally didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, crap, if I would have done that, I would have had so many more people that I would have converted. I see them on social media posting, sold a house, bought a house, whatever. Dang it, if I would have put them on a smart plan and contacted them, that could have been my transaction. Right? So do that work now, so that once you're 6 months, a year, or 2 years in, you are that person.
And your
Okay.
database can start with your contacts. So if you go to your 100% contact list and scroll it down, I'll tell you how many people you have in your phone. That is your first start to your database.
That's your sphere. Those people know you. And if they don't, call them.
And you've got forewarnings and systems out there to help you get that data concise, right?
Yeah. Clean it up.
Yeah, clean it up. Okay.
What was the name of the program you use where people sign into your open houses?
So that's, my CRM is Brivity.
Oh.
That's what we use.
Yeah,
This-
Kelly Williams, your agent websites have an open house sign-in sheet. Pamela can help you.
It's like, we'll print it off. or
Just make
fill
sure
it
you
out.
have
Fill it out on the
in the
computer.
house, you have a picture that
There-
there is an internet.
It goes straight, whoever fills it out.
If there is no internet, it
Yeah.
won't work.
The hardest part for me, the reason I switched off of printing off a sheet, putting it out, who can read my handwriting?
Right?
Who can read, yeah, and that, I lost a ton of leads. because I could not, and some people probably do.
People like to play with computers too, I
Like to do
think.
computers,
Yeah.
there are programs out there, to your point, that are disconnected, it's just a standalone sign-in system. They sign in, it pops up, thank you, and cycles back to the sign-in page and gives you an Excel sheet at the end of it that you can then dump into your program.
Well, and if you're using your KW website, it will filter right into command, and I believe you can even have it set up, so a smart plan will automatically activate like a day later. And they'll get an email from you automatically the next day. So if you are here right now and that's something you're interested in, get with Pamela. Pamela is here at your beck and call, at your service. She's here to support you with all of our technology and she will help you. So if that's something you want to know, do that. So we're at an hour, a little over an hour. I want to respect everyone's time. And to kind of, I guess, give your elevator speech of your, like, to these people, like, what am I trying to say? Your, best practices.
Yes, what's your take?
For lead gen,
What-
and then I wanna take like, I do wanna, you guys to be able to ask questions. I know if you're shy, to speak up. If you aren't sure, you wanna ask it, please ask it. We
That's-
call these things ahas, and I want it your ahas. It's agents helping agents, and if no one's asking or saying anything, you know, we're helping each other. Did you know that?
Oh, no,
You're-
sorry.
Yeah, no, you said, good.
No, wait until the end of that.
No, it's okay, go for it.
So talking back on, or I showed up a little bit late, I apologize. Like, everybody's sitting in this room, what's the career experience, like, as real estate? Is it
Everywhere from
months, or is it?
everywhere, so
Everywhere
up
from
here, we're talking
Getting
12
ready to
years.
take your test to,
You're saying it here or here?
Like, audience?
Just folks are unlicensed.
Yeah, taking anywhere from before taking the test to.
Okay.
very experienced.
And so,
You got Dave who's on it right now.
What's like 45 years?
Yeah.
for myself, what I find challenging is there's a reason that all of you are on the panel, and it's because you're the best at what you do. And when there's a question that's asked of scripts of, you know, I send a postcard and I do this. There, like, to me, there's something in there that is, I've tried these. 57 things, and I know that 52 don't work, but like, try a couple of these, keep trying things.
Yeah, how long have
Like,
you been doing them? We just had a farming class the other day, and they said that in everything they did it consistently for 1 year.
But so
It's
you're,
kind of like
trying,
postcards
like,
for
different-
people.
you're trying different phrases or scripts.
You're saying, hey, what
you know,
portion
right,
of
but like, I feel like what's talked about is like high level. And like, could be a little bit more like operational, like day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, sure.
May I ask how long you've been in the business?
7 years.
Okay.
I'm a loan officer.
Oh, okay, awesome. No, thank you, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Very good.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, everywhere from, so me personally, I'm a conversational person.
And I'm sorry.
You're good.
And I know it's like, know your audience, or it's, know your neighbors, that type of thing. But when it comes to scripts, it's, like, the know your audience, like,
So,
because,
yeah, I
so
think
it doesn't work
yeah.
with words, I didn't know.
As far as
It's with a brand new group, I don't know, like, what are the things that you've experienced that have been like, you've gotten to your podium without, you know.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
back to what he was saying earlier. So essentially what you're asking is if you had a lead or a client, or like what outpouring or what outsourcing would you do, like whether someone's a Zillow lead? Are you asking like,
You're asking for specific language, like what are we saying, right?
Well,
Or the
Yeah.
steps we take, right?
That was one of them.
Specific.
yeah. So specific, I know I touched on a couple of things.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's-
apologize.
yeah, you're good.
No, you're fine. Here's what I will tell you this, there is no answer.
There's no secret sauce.
There's no secret.
No, absolutely not.
Consistency, I told a story about that.
Consistency is probably the secret
I
sauce.
told a story about sending out those 700 cards and already Dave was the only one responding. So it's only one response I got, and it was a landing page, it was a beautiful card, it was, I really had a lot of that, I said, about putting my thing together.
Yeah.
I know the only response that was from Dave.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Easiest thing, send somebody something and follow up and follow up and follow up. And there is both training. I mean, I did not attend it.
Oh.
So I did not attend it as we probably other agents did, but I learned some scripts and then I added on some other scripts. And Jeff here, he has that script class every morning. If you attend it, write down those scripts, learn them. And you're not gonna use them now, but you are building your language. You're building your, and that mega lead conversion is a class that can teach also that it helps, it gives you, what do you say? Okay, what do you say if this happen? No, don't say that, say that, because this is,
So-
and it teaches you about like open questions. How do you, what does it mean? Things
So-
like that.
Something that I thought of with like scripts. If I put Dave on the spot right now, and I said, hey,
Give me an objection.
exactly, see that confidence, because he's done it
I thought he was
for 300 years, right? When
this
you start, for example, say, who here drives to Lancaster every day? Me, because I live in Lancaster.
I went to circle.
I put it, listen, but did you have to use Google Maps?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all put Google Maps up on our phone to see where we're going the first time, right? That's what a script is. It's a guide map. Okay, hey, here's the list of people, call them now.
That's a great.
I've never done this before. Oh crap, what do I say? You go, hello, Mr. Jones, how are you today? How can you read that? It sounds awkward, it feels awkward. To the other, what's funny is to the person on the other end of the line, a lot of times scripts don't sound as awkward as you think. So 6 months in, I'm driving to Lancaster every day, driving east of Lancaster. Do I need Google Maps anymore? I go, okay, I'm here, I'm roughly 10 minutes out, da, da, da. Take out of scripts, you don't stick to scripts. That's me personally. If you want to stick to scripts, stick to scripts. Sure. Take guide points out of the script. Say, I need, at the end of this conversation, my objective is, I need to know what their pain point is, what their objection is, what they're looking for, and how I can fix it. If you take those points out of the conversation.
Everyone should write that down, say it again.
Do I gotta
Remember what
remember
you
it?
said?
Well, pain points, what they're looking for, how you can help them. Just, I mean, those three things, if you can take those three things out of any conversation, be it somebody who's brand new that you have never talked to before, or somebody that you've known for 20+ years. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Okay, cool. You have this pain point. Okay, cool. Well, what are you looking to get? What's your end objective? Okay, well, hey, I could help if you want me to. If you want me to. And at the end of the day, if they say no, it's gonna feel like Mike Tyson punched you square in the gut. I had it happen. My buddy said, no, I've got my own agent. I felt like Mike Tyson just clocked me across the face because we know each other, we trust each other. I said, okay, cool. Hey, your decision, your house, I'm here to help you. So you're still there. 30 days later, I got a phone call. Hey, dude, I screwed up. Don't make it weird because they don't choose you. Right? Take those objectives, take those guideposts out of that conversation, still put them in your brain, still write them down on command, but still have that there and ready.
I would say this too, there's so many different avenues of real estate and different types of buyers, maybe divorce, maybe it be, again, they're going through foreclosure, maybe it be the, again, first time buyer. Back to what he said, it's when you find your ideal client, and you find it, what is it? Niches, yeah, niches, whatever that's saying. The point is, if you got those three people that you want to work with every day, now you can walk out of here and go, gosh, I got all these scripts to learn, I got all these systems to set up. Figure out who you are. This is like my biggest takeaway to answer your question earlier. Figure out who you are as a realtor. Why did you get in this business? Or why are you planning to get in this business? Is it just the money? We're gonna have a long road ahead of you.
That's okay. Me saying this up here, if you're right at the beginning and you're going, I'm doing this for money, that is okay to start.
It's
get
gonna,
where you need to go.
it's gonna hurt though.
It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be hard. Cause when I was asked that question the first time in Bold, I went, I'm here to make money.
Just
And,
do the
and
work.
that was hard.
That was the
Get to
shift
a
for me.
different point.
That was a shift for me because I'm telling you, like last year was my roughest year business wise ever. And this year has been my best year so far as a realtor. And so the difference really was figuring out who I was, right? And that's where the fitness thing came in. That's where like, I'm a faith-based guy, so that's important to me as well. So my mornings are spent on me. And in reality, when you do that, it's almost like addition by subtraction. You would think to do more deals, you guys spend more time in the business. And actually, I took less time in the business. And I said, I'm gonna take from 5 a.m., which I'm not telling you how to do this. For me, I had to do it. I used to be a night owl. So I said, in order for me to like culture shock my body, I gotta get up at 5 and then go to bed earlier. So that means I'm gonna get up at 5 and I'm gonna spend some time in scriptures you were saying earlier. I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna work on myself. And then when kids are up, whatever happens, now I start the business. What did I do? I trained myself to go, all right, why am I waking up this morning? Because you're just wasting your days. If you're just going, okay, where's the next deal? Where's the one? Like, people are gonna smell it. People are gonna know you are just out for the next deal. You're just not gonna be able to buy it. Invest in yourself. And then what you're gonna do is go, I'm gonna go invest in somebody else. And what naturally happens is when you invest in other people, you're calling them with going, hey, I heard you were looking to sell. I heard you were looking to buy. I've got the resources here. And for me, my like, I guess the way people see me is I don't want to be a car salesman. I want to be the big teddy bear guy, right? And the pain points that you talked about earlier is most people, especially first time buyers, they don't want to hear from a realtor because they feel like they're sold. You're going to press me into buying a house I don't want. You're going to, my dad's got to come with me. I've had that happen. My dad's coming. I've seen dads like wipe their hands, go, oh yeah, this dude, you're an IT guy, you don't know what's wrong with this house. But he's like looking to do it, and I'm like, but I play the game and I build rapport with this guy, right? Because they're people. And this is a young single girl that's buying the first house, which is my ideal client, is a first time buyer. They're buying the first house, and I need to make her feel comfortable. But I can't make her feel comfortable if I'm a screwed up person who's so that's my review, is just figure out who you want to be in this business, start documenting it, start loving on people, start serving people, and naturally you're gonna get business. That's more important than you getting this big filter of leads and you don't know who to do with it. That's just not. No one's gonna hand you a lead. If they give you a lead, if you don't know what to do with it, then it was wasting that.
Learn to be sincere, learn to care,
And truly,
and actively listen.
Yeah.
I drive my wife crazy because I know where to go. In 5 minutes, I've asked something about questions. I get ready for short foot after lives, right? Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
An elevator ride, walking past somebody in the mall. So it just,
right.
it comes innately to me.
And be educated, like make sure you are educating yourself on the moment of the market, what's going on. You are able to answer the questions that you don't even know are gonna be asked to you. You wanna know all of the things, so if you're asked, you have an answer. So as many trainings as you can go to within the brokerage, and also Crumbliss Realtors offers so many different networking groups, and you know, your lenders are there to support you, which I
You
really
have to
get
be
to.
seen as a trusted advisor,
And
subject matter expert.
Thank all of you. Thank you.
How often do we offer script class in this office?
Every single morning,
Every
Monday
single
through
morning.
Friday.
Okay, all right, let's,
Jeff
I'm
Knapsky
sorry,
does it twice a week also.
twice a week, what days? What times?
Tuesdays, I can tell you.
Absolutely.
Jeff, that's-
Please.
that's a-
Listen, everybody, it's the conversational
Recon.
style.
Jeff or Recon.
I mean.
It is the, yeah, it is the conversational style, because you can't tell someone anything, but you can explain a story, right? You have to be able to overcome an objections, right? It doesn't matter what you tell someone, and what matters is what you're able to have them understand, right? It's as simple as that, all right? It's not, this is not, it's a people business. It's not more complicated than that. Just be people friendly. All right, just be encouraging. Have the resources to explain to them that I've got the painters, the inspectors, the title company, the lenders. Look, all of these people up here are amazing. All right, listen to every single one of these 4 panelists, right? But if you do not have the resources if you do not have the language to be able to bring your people to the understanding and the conclusion of what is needing to be done, you're at a loss, all right? But Keller Williams and this office offers you an amazing opportunity to listen to amazing people and to have resources all around you. We've got Rapid Mortgage here back here. We've got, I'm sorry, we don't have a home inspector with us today. Well, we have home inspectors. We have, I'm sorry, are you still home inspector, sir? I'm sorry, are you still
licensed, but yes.
Come on, Denny, don't get started, man. Listen,
Now,
The-
because that
the-
Dave Truitt you have now.
the resources that this office provides, just ask, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have the ability to be able to express the benefit of what we provide and still give them the resources of what they need to accomplish their goals.
And
It's
we
not
have
even-
all the resources for you, so if someone asks you for something and you don't have it,
That's excellent.
go to your leadership team, go to, we have, it is there 100% for you.
And we have,
100%.
do we still have all the books here for certain stuff? They used to be here.
Oh, yeah, it helps, the straight binders,
Language,
yeah.
David has mentioned language is first thing, because if you can't say words, you can, I learned things so much, to be able to speak to clients. So I did start with, goals, then I pivoted, and then you go from one stage to another, and you add on as you go, but if you are a starter, I used to.
There's
just-
binders,
yeah,
they're
I-
still there.
Yeah, I don't know, but I used to grab it, my phone, my list. Okay, who am I calling today? This is how you talk to this person, okay, this is how you talk to, it's very, but be careful. They say it 10 times to you, record it before you start calling, so that you sound natural, you're not stuttering or anything like that.
There's a voice recording app on your first thing on your phone too, so you can do it
Yeah.
listen back. I've done that a million
Yeah.
times, sure. So you can sound your voice like, oh, I sound like that, but.
Yeah,
But that's what you sound like, so
You
just
sound like that,
going
yes.
and
My voice is the biggest thing.
yeah,
I'd be surprised.
your worst critics, your worst judges.
I want to say something about the new agents, but I see so many think that, okay, I have to find a deal for 100, for 200, 300. I think you should reach higher because it's the same deal you're doing. Train yourself to really look for more luxury, more higher price point, because you're doing the same work. Train yourself to okay, how to look at homes like this, what are the names of the stuff in them, and just make sure that, be sure of yourself, because you can say to yourself, okay, all houses are the same, but I'm gonna choose a higher price point because I'm doing the same work. And dress for success. This is when you day in, day out. I'm not, I'm for this because people are seeing you everywhere. For wherever, if you're going to grocery store, make sure that you are really dressing for success, because you are a realtor. You want to identify as a realtor all the time, so that they can put you in that picture. And finally, client experience. Don't let anything fall in a crack. This is a must. One deal, it was really very hard deal. The client said to me, Rima, you were brutal. You did not leave any detail, and it's my job. So make sure that you really make focus on customer experience. And thank you for listening to us. I'm still learning it. I know David is such.
I'm old.
I'm always learning from him. No, you're not.
How long have you been in the business?
19 years.
19.
As
There
of-
you go,
as of
so,
Nice.
there you go.
I was just gonna say one thing and then I think we gotta finish, but
No, I don't have any more questions. It's like, I want you guys to sum it up, and I really do, if you guys have any questions after they're finished giving you their final thoughts, please ask. Well, I'm gonna bring Rapid Mortgage out, so don't run away, 'cause I want you guys to meet them, they're amazing people. Denny, final thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
I
Ben.
can say, one more, just to follow up with what you just said, 2 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Is that if you're high, shooting for higher standards with higher houses. Like, you know, a lot of the.
Let's get their attention back. Screw it,
Dave, true it.
screw it.
I'm sorry, what do you gotta do?
I was just saying, if you wanna go to more expensive house, then go to new builds. A lot of the reps, I was one for 8 years. A lot of the reps want you to come in, because that you're their co-opting person, right? So they want you to come, so take advantage of any new build neighborhood you go, knock on the model door, go in. This is where you get content, this is where you connect with other reps, and you can start shooting some of these $800,000 houses, and you start to feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm a brand, you don't have to go down to the 100,000 houses.
That's a great point.
There's a business for that as well, we're crazy.
Understand the structure and understand the process. Learn a little bit so that you don't look like you're there, but you don't know what to do. It's gonna start like that, but it's difficult.
You wanna give final thoughts, Ben, and?
That was my comment.
Oh, perfect, okay.
Just couple things. First of all, for those of you who are new, you're not being a better location as brokers and from a support structure standpoint, I think it's better. You're in the best place you can be with that. Consistency, determination are all qualities you have to have in this business. You have to be determined. You can't give up. No defeatist attitude. Identify who you are, so you can identify it to a client. What's your value proposition? What are you bringing to the table differentiates you from everybody else's business? And figure that out and leverage that.
Ben, Crumbliss.
Other than
Other Ben?
Consistency. Show up, do the work. You will succeed. Like, this is the business that if you do the work, even if it feels like you're not getting anywhere, doing an open house every single weekend. Man, I wanna go hang out with my kids. Man, I wanna go do this. 10 to noon open house. Cool, I've done my work for today. Now I can go to the pool, have a beer, hang out, and know, okay, I did that. Move on. Show up and do it.
Can't take withdrawals from something you didn't do.
Oh,
I like that.
okay, I would bring up, Mark James here, he actually provided the.
Yeah, but before.
Oh,
One of the best loan officers in all of Central Ohio speaks. Who needs another beverage? Because there's a whole cooler. Don't be bashful. I got one back here. I got, listen.
Listen, stay, you
Yeah.
can't drink, don't drink, but stay.
Just chat with the people.
Agent, ask questions, they're here
Ask the
to
people.
answer anything you want, and I am gonna have a microphone.
No, listen.
If you guys feel better.
I don't even need to pay.
No, listen,
Come up and have a beverage on us, hang out, talk. If you have any questions, just come up and talk. Done.